Over some period of time now, we have been having issues that has to do with migration, and God's willing, by 2016 October, we got approval for it, and the government of the state has been so magnanimous, such that it gave approval to the commencement of the payment, and it promised that the payment should be continued. You understand? But just some days ago, we saw some letters being circulated by the management of the school, such that some of those who have benefited from the migrations are being demigrated. You understand? And that is the major reason why people are outside to protest.
We agitated for something that we are rightfully due for. A paper, a recommendation by our MBT. And after, a lot of agitation, the package was eventually implemented, sometimes October 2017. Only for the management of LASPOTECH, come this January 2019, to start sending out letters of demigration. What we agitated for was actually called migration, Context 15, migration, which members have been enjoying since 2016, up until this year. And some of the people that have received this letter on it, it's written that effective 1st January, they are demigrated down by one level, which we know that is not fair, and we don't know how they want a lot of us to cope, how they want a lot of us to survive. Whatever you do it on the basis of what you earn. A lot of us have sent children to school. We have members of our families that are eating from the little we earn from Lagos State Polytechnic. Now that you are stepping people down by one level in the name of demigration, I don't know how productive you expect us to be when you do that. And when we came out to protest that we don't want this, we just saw that you bring in retinues of police officers, cars with tear gas and so on to harass us. We are making peaceful protests. We are not out to harm anybody. We are just saying what is wrong, and it cannot continue. And despite that we still want peace and we want progress in Lagos State Polytechnic, we realize that some members have also been issued letters of disengagement. I am privileged to see one of the letters. There is no excuse whatsoever on the letter of disengagement, and that you don't need the services of the person. And that is why we have come, so that the governor of Lagos State can intervene in this matter.
We are protesting against the management of oppression, the management of oppression, of suppression, of intimidation of staff. We are here protesting against the migration. That's a scheme for all polytechnics in Nigeria with respect to salaries. We had to protest in 2016 for that scheme to be implemented by the management. The management claimed later that they implemented, they commenced implementation under Durex, and now, despite the fact that the case is before an industrial court in Lagos, the management is issuing out letter to reverse the implementation. By extension, they are saying that there is no migration. They call it there's no migration. We are here to vent our grievance because as we speak now, the management is bent, is issuing out disengagement letters to members of staff. We have received, we have copies here, and we understand that there are over 100 staff to be disengaged by the management.
Sometimes ago, around 2009, the government said they should migrate workers from one level to the other. It has been done to the people at the top from level 13 upward. Because there was agitation, the government said, the people controlling the Polytechnics said they should move those from 1 to 11. And so the subsequent rectors we had, they were very plain with us. We knew there was no money to pay us, and we have been patient with them. Even our present rector was the chairman of the committee that went around all the polytechnics in Nigeria, and he told the former rector that we needed just 19 million for us to be able to pay staff to implement, not arrears. He now became the rector. When Ambode came in, the union went there. We agitated for increase in subvention so they can pay this money. We agitated for governing board. It was granted. The subvention was increased with 57 million naira. Well, this is my chairman. And so when we got this 57 million naira, my rector said he cannot implement migration. Out of the 57 million naira, he said he cannot spend 90 million naira as increase. That is for the migration. So we started this problem since 2016. Eventually, they were forced to implement in 2016. And we started enjoying this. And we asked for the October 2016. We asked for the arrears because we knew he was never honest in paying this money. And the state government, Attorney General, management of Lagos Poly, they took us to court. Later, Lagos State government withdrew from court. And so, we are with the Lagos State Polytechnic management because while the case was in court, they were issuing letter of threat to us. They were demoting people, they were trump up charges. And now this month, January, they have issued many letters that they are taking us back to 2015. They are demigrating us. Many of us will go home with nothing. Many will go with minus. It means you come to the office for 1 month, you go home with nothing, then you go and look for money to go and pay the debt, to come and pay the debt you are owing the government. Is that done anywhere? And the case is in court. They said let the status quo remain. Deputy governor that is handling the educational sector said let the status quo remain. But in Lagos State Polytechnic, the status quo is not remaining. They want us to go home empty-handed. They started issuing letters to about 100 of us now that dispatch sack letter that they want to sack us because we are asking for what is our entitlement. It is
born out of our agitation for the implementation of continuity migration, which is the consolidated tertiary institution salary scheme. This was approved by MBTE in 2009 for the senior staff, that is talking of grade level 13 and above to 15. And after a series of agitations to make it go round, because we feel it's going to create an apathy in the system where you make a largesse for a senior category of staff and junior category of staff could not benefit from it. So in 2013, they extended it to grade level 11 and below. And since then we have been agitating until 2016 when it was implemented. So it's a long story really. It was implemented after the union's efforts to ensure that the subvention of Polytechnic was increased, and not only that, we have a council unfortunately, these two things that the union fought for has eventually become a cause and not a blessing to us. So they implemented. What we are saying after the implementation is that we have an arrears accrued to 37 months that should be taken. If you cannot pay 7 months, come to a round table and say this is the amount you can pay. Place it on the table for us. But they insisted they are not going to pay anything. That even the implementation was forced on them. So in the process, while we are protesting that, they went to court, dragged the union to court. The Lagos State government, along with the management of the tertiary institution, and we met in court. Having seen that their prayers is that they are not owing us arrears. Unfortunately for them, the document they attached to the application were documents showing that we have an arrears to collect. So on realizing that, they are now making a move to say they want to withdraw the case from court, to rubbish the thing. We see an opening in that. There's an advantage for us, that for the court to do justice on the matter before it. And so we filed a counterclaim. The counterclaim was in the court. They forcefully withdrew their own, but they asked the counterclaim to contest with. But despite that, even despite the fact that the court said status quo should remain pending the determination of the case, they went ahead to demigrate our members. Though we know it is a prejudicial and is contemptuous, they are going to take that up on the legal basis, but we will not stop on that. You cannot slap me even while the court is and want me to fold my eye, we will slap you back. And that's what is happening. You have demigrated, violating the court order. We will not hesitate to do the same thing for the court to take redress. And to kill the whole thing up, while that one was ongoing, they begin to issue letter of dismissal to our members. We heard that over 200 letters have been issued. So they want to terminate about 200 staff in Lagos State Polytechnic who will not take it.
At about 7:15 a.m., a courier service personnel came to my home and said he had a letter for me. You know, he wouldn't know the contents of the letter, and then I received it. On opening it, I observed that it's a letter of disengagement, which stated that my services were no longer required by the Polytechnic management effective 23rd of January, with no reason, no basis was stated in the letter, no basis for the, and I've been working for 17 years in the Polytechnic. So they have breached the process of disengagement of staff. We have a management that is not willing to look into staff welfareism. They are anti-staff. But once we are able to resolve issues amicably, you know, you can't have it all. It's a 50-50 thing. You know, we come around the round table and have a discussion and we resolve issues, but our management is not willing. You know, he's always threatening. He's a very arrogant person, the head of administration. So that's why we have all these problems. We've been here in 2016, in 2017 on this issue. Still, we haven't made a headway.
Yes.